Ask 10 US remote workers how long it takes to move to Europe, and you'll get 10 different answers. Half of them think it'll take a year and put off starting, while the other half rush and miss important details. Either way, they're guessing. I moved abroad 5 times over the last 10 years, and by now, I've got it down to a science. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how long it takes to move to Europe from the US, the biggest mistake to avoid, and how to build a timeline that's realistic for you. First, let's look at the thing that trips almost everyone up, no matter how fast or slow they're moving. When someone tells me they're finally ready to move to Europe, I notice the same pattern happens every time. Within a day or two, they've got a list going in their head. When do I give notice on my apartment? When do I sell my car? What do I do about health insurance? They're trying to solve every problem at once. Like my client, John. When we first started working together, he was ready to move abroad, but he owned a house full of things he'd spent years collecting, and he spent months stressing over what to do with it all, which kept pushing his move back month after month. The problem wasn't that he was thinking about the wrong things, it was that he was thinking about them in the wrong order, because there's one thing that has to come before everything else: the visa. Whether you're wanting to move in 1 month or 1 year, setting a date for your visa appointment is the very first step in organizing your timeline to move to Europe. Here's how you do it. First, search the consulate that handles applications for your state. Just Google something like Spain Consulate Texas or French Consulate New York, and you'll find the one that serves your area. On that site, you'll find the visa types available and a link to book your appointment. If you're trying to move quickly, look at the soonest available date, but give yourself at least 2 to 3 weeks beforehand to gather your documents. If you're planning farther ahead, look at what's available so you have a sense of it, but hold off booking until you're within a few months of when you actually want to go. In this case, you'll want to estimate a window of time for your ideal departure date. Once you have that appointment, or even a rough idea of when it'll happen, you finally have an anchor for your entire timeline. Because getting your visa takes time, and it's important to get a sense of how long so you can realistically plan around it. So here's what it looks like in practice. My most recent move to France was the fastest one yet. There wasn't much for me to downsize or sort out because I'd already been living abroad for 10 years. All I had to do was apply for my visa and tie up a few loose ends back in the US. Start to finish, from the day I decided to move to France to the day I got on the plane, it took 1 month. The move itself can be quick if all you have to do is apply for a visa. But if this is the first time you're doing it, it often takes a bit longer to go through the process because you're figuring it out as you go. So let me break down what the timeline for that process looks like for the average person doing it for the first time. Step 1. Go to the visa page for your consulate, identify the required documents for your visa type, and book an appointment. Or roughly pick a month you'd like to move based on available dates. This takes 1 afternoon. Step 2. Gather your documents. Things like a background check, bank statements, proof of income, proof of accommodation, and travel insurance. This usually takes 2 to 4 weeks the first time. Step 3. Attend your visa appointment and submit your application. This takes 1 day, though you may need to travel if your consulate is in a different city. Step 4. Wait for approval. This averages 3 to 8 weeks, depending on your consulate. You can find typical turnaround times on their site or in expat forums. Add it all together, and the visa process alone takes 5 to 12 weeks. That's the baseline. The fastest this can happen if the visa is the only thing on your plate. But that baseline doesn't include the time it takes to organize everything else, like ending your apartment lease, downsizing your belongings, or deciding what to do about health insurance. So let me show you what a typical move looks like once all of that is factored in. The first time I moved abroad, I found out in May that I had been offered a position in Spain and would need to be there by September. It gave me 4 months to sort everything out, but I didn't know what a visa was, how it worked, or how to untangle my life in the US. Like many Americans, I owned a car and a storage closet full of things I didn't know what to do with. I had no idea if I was doing things in the right order, and I didn't have anyone to ask. But I was told I needed a visa, so that's where I started. Once I had that appointment date, everything else fell into place, but I was still figuring out the order as I went. That's the stressful part, not the visa itself, but not knowing what order to do things in. So here's how to build your timeline with intention instead of stumbling into it like I did. Start with your target date, when you actually want to be there. Subtract the visa processing window, 3 to 8 weeks, to find your latest possible appointment date. Then subtract document gathering, another 2 to 4 weeks, to find the date you need to start. Say you want to be there by mid-December. Working backward, your appointment needs to happen by mid-October, and you need to start gathering documents by late September. Once you have that, the rest of the timeline stops being random. From there, you can work through everything else one decision at a time instead of trying to solve your entire move in one weekend. With your target move date in mind, you'll know when your apartment notice needs to go out, when to sell your car, and how long you have to downsize your belongings and organize your logistics. Everyone's timeline will look different because we all have varying degrees of lives to untangle before we're ready to move. While the visa itself takes 5 to 12 weeks, I find that for most of my clients, 6 months is a realistic amount of time to sort everything out without feeling rushed. Regardless, the principle holds. You're picking your date and building backward from it. And if you'd like a little help putting that timeline together, I made a free tool that does it for you. Just enter where you're moving and when you'd like to be there. And it'll tell you when to start preparing, when your visa appointment should happen, and how much time to leave for each part of the process. You'll find it linked below.